let's talk about growth. What if your efforts weren't just costing you money, but were actually compounding your success day after day? Today, we're diving into the model of EyE PunE, a company that positions itself as a growth partner built to answer that exact question.
And this, right here, this is the question that keeps executives up at night. You're investing in marketing, in sales, in all the latest tech, but are those pieces actually working together? Are they creating real exponential growth? Or are they just a bunch of separate costs bleeding your P&L? Let's unpack that.
There's a name for this problem, the modern growth ceiling. It's that incredibly frustrating place where you're putting more in, more budget, more effort, but you're just not getting better results out. You've hit a wall. So, why does this happen?
Well, here's the culprit. Think about it. You've probably got an agency for your ads, another one for your website, maybe a freelancer for content, and a whole different team for your CRM. Everybody's off doing their job in their own little silo. And the result? Your strategy is completely fragmented and your ROI gets watered down. There's just no synergy.
So what's the way out of this mess? It really takes a different way of thinking. It's about shifting from hiring all these disconnected vendors to embedding a single, unified growth team right into your business.
And this slide really nails the difference. A typical agency, they execute tasks, they bill you for hours, they work for you. But a growth partner is different. They build integrated systems. They're measured by the actual results they get you, and they work with you. That alignment is absolutely critical.
Okay, so how does this model actually start to deliver those compounding results we talked about? It all comes down to integrating every key growth function into one single, well-oiled engine. You're looking at a full-stack approach where every piece talks to the others. Your sales systems aren't just floating out there on their own. They're directly linked to your marketing automation to nurture leads perfectly from that first click to the final sale. Your branding and web dev, they're not just about looking pretty. They're engineered to convert, with analytics proving what works. And the secret sauce tying it all together? AI tools to supercharge your team's output. When you build all these pieces together, you don't have a bunch of services anymore. You have a real growth engine. Now let's zoom in on what might be the most powerful part of this whole engine, AI. And look, this isn't about chasing the latest buzzword. This is about building a real, tangible, competitive weapon for your business.
And this is the key takeaway right here. The goal isn't to replace your people, it's to make them 10 times more effective. It's about pairing their expertise with smart automation. For any leader, a 10x increase in output, well, that's massive operational leverage. But what does AI automation actually look like on a Tuesday afternoon? Let's get really specific and look at a real-world case study.
We're going to dive into a process that every single business deals with. One that's usually slow, expensive, and packed with risk. Managing legal contracts. Just think about it for a second. Every single partnership, every new hire, every big sale you make, it's all built on a contract. The sheer amount of time your legal team spends drafting and reviewing them, plus all the hidden risks buried in those clauses, that's a huge drag on your business. So, here's the solution in action, an AI platform called Lex Pro. And you can see how each feature hits a major pain point. AI drafting, it turns hours of legal work into minutes. Risk analysis, it automatically scans and scores clauses for you. It even checks everything against local laws, like the Indian Penal Code, and brings the entire process, right up to the e-signature, into one clean dashboard. It's all about speed, accuracy, and control. And this is the result. Instead of a dense 20-page document that you have to squint at, you get this, an immediate, actionable summary. The AI read the entire contract, flagged 3 specific risks, and gave it an overall score. This lets your team make faster, much smarter decisions. This is what an unfair advantage actually looks like.
Okay, that's an impressive tool. But as any executive knows, it always comes down to the bottom line. So let's talk about the hard numbers, the results clients are actually seeing.
This really brings us back to that core idea. The value is not in the time someone spends on a task. It's in the outcome you get. The entire model is built to deliver measurable growth that you can see on your financial statements.
So let's start with the big one, a 5 times average return on investment. That means for every dollar a client puts in, they're seeing $5 in growth come back out. That's a powerful, powerful metric. Now here's the second number, and it's just as important, 98% client retention. This tells you it's not about quick, short-term wins. It's about building sustainable, long-term partnerships
that clients value so much they just don't leave.
And finally, over 100 brands grown. This is the social proof. It shows that this system isn't a one-trick pony. It's repeatable across all kinds of different industries and business models.
And of course, you want to know what their clients are saying. Here's a quote from a managing director, and listen to the words he uses: strategic delivery partner, accountable. This is the kind of validation from a peer that really matters.
Here's another one. And again, check out that key phrase: deeply aligned with outcomes, not just execution. It perfectly circles back to that core message we saw earlier. It's all about the results, not just checking boxes on a to-do list.
So the choice we've been exploring really boils down to this. You can keep juggling all those fragmented vendors and getting watered-down results, or you can consolidate with a single partner and start building a real compounding growth engine.
For anyone who's curious, the next step they suggest is incredibly straightforward and zero risk: a free AI-powered assessment that spits out a personalized roadmap for you in under 5 minutes. It's a really quick way to see where you might have your own growth ceiling. And we'll just leave you with this final thought. In a world that's all about efficiency and data, you can be sure your competitors are thinking about AI. The only question is, what's your strategy to not just keep up with them, but to get way ahead?